So as we know, there has been an exploit involving Moonwell. There's a lot of fear, a lot of FUD, a lot of misinformation going around. So we're going to have Luke Youngblood kind of clear things up for us right here. He put this out for the community. So enjoy, and I will be back at the end of it, my friends.
Hey everyone, Luke here. I just wanted to reach out directly to you and tell you what happened. First, just over 24 hours ago, the price of Kelp DAO's restaked ETH was misreported by the Chainlink price feed that we rely on for the Moonwell protocol and base. This caused about $3 million of bad debt to accrue to the Moonwell protocol, and while it is regrettable, there is some good news, and I want to share what's next. First, our risk manager, Antheus Labs, jumped into action almost immediately and paused the borrowing of assets against KelpDAO restaked ETH, which immediately made it so that no further bad debt can accrue to the protocol. So that's number one. And then number two, we are currently working on a remediation plan that will take care of the bad debt, and I wanted to share with you what the next steps are. So first of all, I just wanted to assure you of a couple things. Number one, there was no hack or exploit in the Moonwell protocol, and no funds were lost due to a hack or exploit. The contracts are secure, and there is no novel security vulnerability that you need to worry about. Second, the bad debt is about $3 million, mostly in Coinbase wrapped XRP and some Ethereum. However, there's more than enough liquidity in the Moonwell protocol to satisfy all of the withdrawals. So if people would like to withdraw their money, they can feel free to do so, but there's no reason to do so. Your funds are safe. So those are number one and two most important things I want to convey. And then third, I want to just mention that you're going to see a snapshot proposal go up very soon, probably in the next 24 hours or so, that will help us to figure out what we need to do to remediate this bad debt issue. First of all, the bad debt can be taken care of from reserves. We have about just over $1 million of Ethereum reserves that we could use to repay the bad debt, and about $600,000 of USDC reserves we can use to begin repaying the bad debt. And so we're going to put up a snapshot proposal. Darren Mims, our governance lead, is going to put up a snapshot proposal asking the community what would you like to do next. Another thing I wanted to mention as a highlight of the incident is that the MAMO agent actually served a very important function during this. When there was a lot of withdrawal demand for the USDC market on base because of fear that the Moonwell protocol might have been compromised, the MAMO agent was able to rebalance and move users' positions over to the Moonwell core USDC market, capture that 180% APR rate, and recapitalize that market so that all withdrawals can now succeed. And that shows the benefit of the MAMO agent and how it helps our ecosystem. Because the MAMO agent makes sure that you can always capture the best rates, whether they're in the Moonwell flagship USDC vault or the core market, the USDC core market. And in this case, the MAMO agent, did the exact correct thing, which moved funds into the market that was low on liquidity. So I want to just give a shout out to MAMO for actually proving the value of MAMO to the Moonwell ecosystem. And I wanted to mention to those of you that have been our supporters for many years now, how MAMO actually contributes value to the Moonwell ecosystem by bringing normies and users that are new to crypto in and helping them capture the best rates on chain always. So while people were having fear and there was uncertainty about whether Moonwell had been compromised or not, I just want to assure you, number one, it hasn't been compromised. There's no reason to withdraw funds. And number two, the MAMO agent was able to earn a higher rate for MAMO suppliers or MAMO depositors by doing exactly what it does and moving the funds to the best paying market. So that's a highlight of this experience. I also want to just give a shout out to Antheus Labs, our risk manager. They did a phenomenal job of capping the losses at a very low rate. And regarding those losses, I just want to assure everyone that given the revenue generated by the Moonwell protocol, this won't take very long for us to recapitalize the bad debt. In October alone, Moonwell generated over $1 million in revenue. And so if we just simply vote with governance to use that protocol revenue to recapitalize the markets that have bad debt in them, we should be able to recapitalize them in just a few months. And I also wanted to mention that this is the second mispricing incident in less than a month. that has happened that has affected the Moonwell protocol. And so Moonwell contributors, myself included, are now doing some significant research on how we can make our price feeds more resilient. Because it's become clear that while Chainlink has served us well for over 3 years, it has failed spectacularly in 2 different incidents in October and this incident yesterday. And so while I want to acknowledge the good work that the Chainlink team has done, I think there's more work that they need to do to improve trust in their price feeds. One of the things that we're going to be researching over the next few weeks is whether we can use the DEX price as an anchor to prevent incidents like what happened on October 10th. On October 10th, Chainlink was underpricing assets such as Virtual Arrow and Morpho by a significant amount, and so arbitrageurs were able to borrow those assets and then sell them on the DEX. And so we're going to research whether we can use a DEX price as an anchor, because if the price of Virtual or Arrow or Morpho is lower or higher on the DEX than it is on the Chainlink price, then the Chainlink price is wrong. Okay, and so we need to make sure that as we lean into this on-chain world, and as more and more trading volume happens on-chain, we need to make sure that the Moonwell protocol is leaning into this narrative and relying on the on-chain price more than the off-chain price. These last few weeks have proven that we can't necessarily trust offshore exchanges to report the correct price. And while I don't want to get into all of the root causes of the October 10th incident, I think it's clear that Binance's liquidator malfunctioned and caused heavy volume at lower prices than anyone expected. And if we want to support the best base assets, the native assets on base like Aerodrome, like Morpho, like Virtual, then we need to make sure we have rock solid price feeds. And so we're going to be investigating using DEX prices as an anchor, because frankly, if the DEX price is X and the Chainlink price is Y, the Chainlink price is wrong. So that's a big area of research we'll be focused on the next few weeks. So you can expect to see some governance proposals regarding that. And then last, I just wanted to mention that we need to figure out how to restart the KelpDAO restaked ETH market. Do we want to switch to an exchange rate price feed instead of a market rate price feed? Because it's clear that the market rate price feed used Balancer as a source, and you can read more about that in Entheus Labs write-up. And Balancer, having just been hacked a couple days ago, was not a reliable price feed source for Chainlink to use. So there's a couple takeaways there. I don't want to get it too into the details, but number one, the Chainlink team never warned us to not use this market rate price feed. And in many cases, using a market rate price feed is actually better than using an exchange rate price feed. Because during heavy market volatility, there is an unstaking duration risk. And so while using the market rate price feed has kept us safe for many years, it may not be the best solution going forward. So we need to decide as a community, number one, do we want to reinitiate the use of KelpDAO restaked ETH as collateral? And number two, if we do, what price feed should we use? One idea that we've been talking about on the Moonwell team with some of our core contributors is, can we use the correlated assets price oracle methodology that AVAIL uses? And basically, to summarize this Capo oracle, it uses the exchange rate feed, but it also relies on falling back to the actual contract exchange rate if Chainlink misreports the exchange rate. So if the exchange rate is, for example, 1.05 RS ETH to ETH, or wrapped RS ETH to ETH, and the price feed reports 1.10, it will fall back to the 1.05. Now, this does carry some risk, again, the duration risk, right? If everyone is trying to sell their ETH and they're selling out of restaked ETH, then of course the price of restaked ETH on a DEX can be much lower than the price of the exchange rate. And that's why we should consider it carefully. So I think there's some big questions for us to answer, and we're expecting to see some good snapshot proposals and answer these questions in the next few days. And then in the next few weeks, you'll see some important updates in terms of governance proposals that fix the reserves based on, fix the bad debt by using reserves, and also fix the price feeds for restaked ETH and staked ETH. If we choose to switch to exchange rate feeds and use a capo methodology, we can. However, we should understand that that comes with some risks in addition to simply using the exchange rate. So I wanted to thank everyone for supporting us during this time. I know it's been challenging for those of us that have been longtime Moonwell supporters. I just want to assure you the team is hard at work. We are doing everything we can to help resolve this situation. Your funds are safe. The bad debt in the Moonwell protocol is very minimal, single-digit millions. There was a total of about 3 million created yesterday, and there was about 2 million created on October 10th. But this $5 million in bad debt can be recaptured in less than 6 months at the current rate of revenue generation. So just want to assure everyone, number one, your funds are safe. You can continue using the Moonwell protocol. There's been no exploit or vulnerability. Number two, there have been some mispricings on Chainlink that we want to address, and we want to make sure that those mispricings don't happen going forward. And right now, the protocol is in a state where no new bad debt can be created, so it is safe to supply your funds. I want to assure you that the team is hard at work and working on resolving this through governance, and that this is a temporary setback. This is not fatal. So please continue to share your ideas with us. I'd love to hear a reply to this post. And please continue to support us and dispel the FUD out there. There's a lot of FUD. No, Moonwell is not hacked. But I want to just assure you the team is hard at work on solutions, and that we're continuing to build. Don't bet against us, because we're continuing to build new features for the Moonwell protocol. We have a lot of exciting things planned for the rest of this year and for early next. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.
All right, guys. So a lot of bullishness there. A lot of FUD dispelled. Right? No customers lost any money. They're solvent to pay back the bad debt. No problems there. And Moonwell itself has not been exploited or compromised in any way. The Chainlink feeds were bad. Go to Pith, baby. Go to Pith. Let's see what happens. Anyway, yeah. So let me know what you guys think. I am still a strong believer and supporter in Moonwell. One of my biggest bags for full transparency. And yeah, so I'm fine with it. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, guys, the link is down below for our VIP community. If you want to book one-on-one coaching calls or join our group coaching calls, check out our exclusive Patreon-only content. All of our training courses are free to Patreon members, and so much more, guys. Check it all out. The link is down below, or use the QR code in the top right-hand corner. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.